And hello, good people of the internet. It is I, Tommy Kelly. This is Adventures in Woo Woo, and this is the monthly one card 47 divinations that I do for the good people over on Patreon as a way to say thanks for the kind, generous and ongoing support. As always, if you would like to get some of these readings, then you can just go over to Patreon. It's tommykelly.com. We'll get you straight there, but all the links will be in the show description. And you too can get your own divination. There's many different versions. There's 1 card, 3 cards, 5 cards and 9 card versions depending on your level of support. There's plenty of other things over there. And your very kind and generous support allows me to continue doing what I do, and it's really appreciated. There's other links in the description that will also lead you to where you can support me in other ways. But a like and a share and a comment and a review, all of these things are every bit as appreciated and useful as, me sending me your money. So without any further begging, let's get into this. So this is the first video I've done since I've completely rearranged the office. It's not the first video I've done, it's the first video I've done with me in it, directly speaking to camera. The rest was just my hands, which I might do it for the bigger spreads, but for the 1 card spreads I don't think it works quite as well. So let's see how this works. This is the office as it looks now. I think it looks pretty cool. I enjoy it. So let's get straight into this. Sarah, immediately a card. What energy should I lead with this month? The carnal. So that would suggest that you would need to have a think about how you feel about yourself as a woman, as a sexual being, as how attractive, about your body. It's all very physical, very sexual, but very, how you feel about it, how you're, not exactly how you're presenting it, but how what sort of feel you have. Are you comfortable with it, or do you need to be more comfortable with it, less comfortable with it, whatever it is? But just around that whole kind of your whole carnal nature, your whole beautifulness, your whole comfort in your skin. Do you feel like a sexual being? Do you not? All of these things that come along with the carnal. Jumped out immediately. So that would be the one that seems to be calling out to you. Alex. Again, cards coming out. Which servant offers me the most help this month? It's 2, Alex. So it is the Master and the Levitator. So the Master would suggest, being your highest ideal, but the best version of yourself that it can be, the thing that you're working towards. But it's the dysfunctional version of it would be to strive for perfection constantly and be a perfectionist. So it's not that either. So it's like, because you have the Levitator with it, which is saying just rides above it, is saying that it's definitely not a call for perfection, but it's probably suggesting that what you could do is have a look at what your idea around what your perfected self would be. Who would you be on the best day if you were able to do anything? And by that I mean is what would your diet be? What would you drink? Would you not drink? What sort of job would you have? What would be your emotional state? What would your attributes be? What type of person would you want to be if you could be all that you wanted to be? The Levitator is saying that you need to have a kind of a new look at this and rise above what you thought about yourself maybe, and just think of it from a different angle. Maybe you were thinking about what it would look like from other people's, or are you living up to someone else's expectations? Or maybe you've just changed so much since that your original idea of who you are needs to be looked at again. So interesting. Good luck with that. Catherine, am I on the right track with a new creative endeavour? Shuffling these cards is probably going to be very loud because they're right close to the microphone. My apologies if so. Am I on the right path with a new creative endeavour? The Giver. With a suggestion that you're giving an awful lot, and that the endeavour, if it's to be successful, would involve some sort of reciprocation or something. You need to receive something as well, and if that's true, then it's the right path, I suppose, or it's good for you. But just be aware of what you're giving away. Are you giving too much? Are you not giving enough? Is it too much effort? Are you being asked to give too much of yourself? Is the kind of sacrifice that's involved in this creative endeavour too much? Is it worth it? And the answer to all of that might be yes, it is totally worth it, even though it is a lot. So have a kind of a think around what are you giving, rather than what you're getting, in the sense of, if you're writing a book, don't focus on all the money you'll make when it becomes a bestseller. That's not what it means. It's like have a think about all the stuff that you have to do in order to write a book, and is that worth it, rather than the prospect of loads of money. Or if it's something that you're doing with regards to like a team or other people, some sort of collaboration, are you going to end up doing all the work, or what exactly is that? So just have a think around the give and take of the whole situation. Jack. I'm assuming it's Jack. JCK. Am I supposed to be the leader or in the background? So it's the protester. Certainly not meant to be in the background, man. If you are, Jack, excuse me if you're not. It would be certainly not meant to be in the background. So it would be a bit, make sure that your own voice is being heard, that you're saying your own truth, you're speaking up for yourself, that you're not letting others tell you who you are, that you're standing up for your beliefs and who you are and your causes and all of those things. And I find that very hard to believe that you'll be able to do that in the background so much. That would seem that being in the background would be more letting things happen to you, being more, reactive to the world rather than proactive. And this would be a call to be proactive. So, the leader, I would suggest out of those two dualistic questions or options. Catherine. What's the most important factor affecting my health? I would suggest whatever your doctor tells you. Medical assistance, your medical advisor tells you. But let's see what the servant suggests you that isn't medical advice. The fixer. So the most important factor affecting my health is, are you willing to pay the price for your health? Are you willing to do that? Which, of course, doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be anything bad. It means that if you want to get fit, you have to go out and do some exercise. If you want to lose weight, you have to actually go on a diet or consume less calories. If you want to be, more stretchy, you have to do the yoga. If you want to be able to run a marathon, you have to get out and run, that kind of stuff. So with regard to your health, are you willing to put in, I suppose, the work? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Are you willing to, do the thing that is involved? Now, that can be easier said than done when it's something like losing weight, getting fit or whatever. But when it's an actual, which I don't know, of course, what your health issue is, the actual, I don't know if you've some sort of ailment or disease or something like that. Whatever it is, like, are you willing to, go to the doctor and find out about it, turn up to your appointments, take the medication, all of these things. But it seems to be around, are you willing to do the thing? And are you able to do the thing? Are you the price to be paid is having to actually do it. And so that is the most important factor affecting your health. And the healer just came out as well. So, it is around healing. So you have to do something. You have to actually do the thing. You have to stop going to work or overworking and relaxing. You have to recuperate. You have to allow yourself to be healing. You're not going to heal within stressful environments or whatever it is. But you have to do the thing. Again, not medical advice in any way. Meredith. What do I need to focus on to move this stagnant energy I've been holding on to? The Saint. Getting help. If you're stagnant because you don't know what to do, say, or you're at you're come up against a wall, or say it's painting that as an example, and you seem to, you've no inspiration, you've nothing that is getting you anywhere. You're not seem to progress in any of those things. They would say, go and get some paint lessons. So like go do some life drawing, or actually go to a class, or go to YouTube and actually learn some more. Try to get something that will get you over the thing that involves in some way asking a professional or an expert in order to help you, that you probably, or you mightn't have the resources yourself right now in order to get yourself to the next stage. It's like you need a new idea, or you need some influence or some sort of influx of something that you mightn't necessarily be able to do yourself. So kind of look to someone. Yeah, it seems to be about asking for help. Ladina, what should I think about my upcoming trip? What should I think about on my upcoming trip? Protection. Protecting yourself. Ladina, is my mind insane? Or did you get something to protect before for going on a trip or something? There's something kind of crossing in my head now. So protection, which could be down to, making sure you have all your paperwork done, make sure that, you have all your shots or whatever it is, that depending on where you're going, make sure you're not going into any hostile environments, make sure that, if you're visiting family, that, certain topics are made taboo that could cause arguments. Just a general sort of sense of protection. Looking after yourself, I suppose, is a better way than protection in this regard. Make sure you look after yourself. And that's what you should think about. Jane, I'm still feeling stuck, and so many challenges are being sent to me to deal with. Now I feel I cannot cope. That's heartbreaking, Jane. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it's very, very temporary. What did the servant suggest? Lots of cards jumping out today. It could be the way I'm shuffling them, but probably not. Healer. It's some form of healing or something you need to do. You need to look after yourself. And I suppose in the sense of there's lots of stuff, challenges we're sent to deal with. If you can in some way put them aside, which I know is probably not practical, but that you need to spend time for yourself. You need to set up boundaries in which you can heal, recover, and do stuff just for yourself, so that you're able to heal, you're able to feel better, you're able to recharge, you're able to get enough sleep, or whatever it is. So a focus on healing, putting yourself first, which is hard depending on the situations you're in, but that's what the call is. That's what the suggestion is. The suggestion is to have a focus on healing, more than trying to solve the challenges, I would say, or a balance between, but yeah, maybe more. Max, what is necessary for real change? Max, that sounds like something like a Zen master would ask his students, and if they got the question wrong, they get a slap in the head. Balance. That's interesting. The balancer. So what is necessary for real change? Well, I suppose it's not to burn the candle at both ends. It's not to go in one direction. It's not to be single-pointed in all things. That you need for real change, you need to be able to have all of the things in balance together. And that's because if you feel that, let's say you're going on, I'm going to take up cycling, and the real change is that I'm going to go full into cycling, then your other parts of your life start falling apart, and it makes the cycling, you're unable to do it as much. So you need to have all of the things kind of in place in order for change to happen, which would be, mental, emotional, physical needs met, your relationship needs met, to the degree that can be done. Like they're never going to be fully perfect in any way, but yeah, balance all around. You're not changing one thing in order to spite something else, or in order to get away from something else, whatever. It's a change for that is organic in its own way, rather than as a reaction to something else. So you need a balance between all the different kind of opposing forces. Yeah, so what is necessary for real change? Balance. And for your Zen master-like question, I feel you got a Zen-like answer to it. So that's fun. His Vinceness. How can I be most effective this month professionally? Okay. The monk, that fell on the ground. So we'll take that into consideration, that it fell on the ground. What can I be the most effective? Well, I suppose then to be falling down is the least effective. So don't be the monk. Don't fall down, and don't separate yourself. Don't pull back. Don't take yourself out of the limelight. Don't simplify things. Don't try to have the easy way out. That's not really the monk, but do the opposite. Like, put yourself to the front. Get involved. Be around people. Don't retreat from anything. Be all out. Go. It's the opposite direction of going up to the mountain and retreating. Yeah. Also fun that the monk came out after our talk about Zen. Yeah. To fall down would be the monk. Grayson, what do I need to be aware of this month? Do I even need to be here this week or this month to do these? They're just popping out themselves to protest that. You need to be speaking up for yourself. You need to be getting angry. You need to be shouting so your voice is heard. You have something to say, or you have something that's annoying you. There's something that has to be spoken about. So there's a certain amount of passion. It's Martian in the sense of it's from Mars, or it's, the god Mars. It's Aryan in the sense of Aries, not in the sense of, my word choice. Something you need to say is to speak up about, something that needs to be get off your chest. So be aware of that you not to bury that, not to hide that, not to go, maybe I'll leave it alone. No, speak up. Indy, what do I need to let go of? The father could actually be your father, in the sense of thoughts and feelings or opinions that you got from him or from someone in a father-like figure. The father is the type. Well, it's Saturnian in many ways, not fully. There's a kind of a passiveness in the sense of the father. He's not going to do anything, but he's always going to be there for you, and he can offer advice. And he can hold your hand, but he all knows that that's just life. That's the way it is, and you have to experience these things. No one else can experience these things for you. The one I always say is, no one can do your driving test for you. You have to do it. No one can survive a broken heart. You just have to get through it. But he'll be there and hold your hand. So what do I need to let go of? If it's not like a father figure or some advice or some beliefs from a father figure, if it's not round being inactive and instead thinking, there's a kind of, I suppose, a fatalisticness to it, that this is just the way life is. Maybe if you're like that, to let go of that. There's a sternness that can be with the father. This is just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and man up and all that rubbish that can be a dysfunctional version of the father. Yeah, so just try and think of either someone who has a father, feels like a father to you. Could be your own father, could be someone at work or something like that too. All of those things about sternness, procrustating type stuff, or harshness, that not feeling or being fatalistic, not feeling that you have any support, or not that you have any support, that feeling no one can help you in a way, stuff like that. Drop all of those type of things. And the positive aspects of the father is that he'll never leave you. He's always there, and always be by your side, and deeply loves you, but just knows that some things have to happen. That's just life, heartbreaks, health, change. James, where should I put my focus this month? On the opposer. So the opposer, of course, is outside influences that are opposing you. It's not your limiting beliefs. It's not anything to do with you. It's actual laws, other people, situations, time, place, circumstance, culture, society, family, other pendulums. So putting your focus on that is focusing on where you're being opposed, I suppose, and looking at that and seeing what are the things I can actually change. It's like you can do all your inner work all you want, but the people around you probably aren't going to change. The situations probably aren't going to change. Only thing you can really be sure of or can work towards is that you might be able to change within these situations. And and kind of feel where the outside influences are. Where are you being pushed? Where are you being stopped? Where are you being prodded? Where are you, do you feel that, you're being held back? Or where, red tape is an awful lot of that kind of stuff, like bureaucracy and, health boards and social welfares and, not IT departments, the HR departments. Well done, Tommy's brain. All that kind of bureaucracy and just people who just love to annoy other people or be in charge, who have no real control other than to control the job that gives them. That kind of stuff that you need to look at and deal with, I suppose. Ganesh is great for that stuff. Again, removing all these blockages and all of those things that are stopping you in some way, because of course he not only is he the god of removing obstacles, he's good at it because he's the person who put it there in the first place. So apart from the road opener having a kind of correlate with Ganesha, you could in a way you could say that Ganesha as the opposer is also that makes sense too, because if he is the god who puts stuff in your way and not just the god who removes stuff, then you can have a chat with him about why is this going on, what is actually opposing me, what do I need to look at. So, DT. What should my next focus in my job now? What should be my next focus in my job now that I've completed probation? The Explorer. So not to kind of, so it's not to feel that you just have to stay in the one kind of place. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to leave your job and, get a new job. But within your kind of the hierarchy of the structure of where you're working, that you can kind of see if you could be a bit more malleable in your job description even, or what you're doing, what you're in charge of, what your scope is or whatever, to just kind of explore that a bit more and see if you can widen and expand that a wee bit, and what kind of other areas that can get you into, rather than just kind of go, I don't know, if you're a graphic designer or whatever who only does a certain things, can you kind of move into where you want to do a bit more design, or you want to do layout or whatever it is. There's some different things that you don't feel so confined by your job title or the thing that you're hired for. See if you can expand that or look in ways that can be kind of moved around. Explore the possibilities of your job rather than deciding or letting other people decide exactly what it is. So that would be the suggestion. So, good people of the internet, that is the one card readings for another month. There will be a couple of other videos which will have different series of readings, 3 cards, 5 cards and 9 cards. And of course the Adventures in Woo Woo podcast has returned, and we've 2 episodes out now, so it'd be, if you feel like you want to check that out, it's audio only, but it's a very cool visualizer on YouTube and Spotify if that's more your thing. So yeah, loads of stuff in the show description. Please do consider, sending a donation or signing up to the Patreon or buying a book or buying the comics or leaving a comment or sharing or any of these things, because it really, 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 and I know everyone says it, but it really does help out. And particularly now when the algorithms on social media are so skewed not in the favour of creators, it really makes a hell of a difference to get a like and a share and a comment or any of these things, and way more than you appreciate. There's so much stuff that you can see that people, creators are putting up and no interaction or whatever, and like with a huge fan base. It's very strange. Just it's not getting delivered anymore, and because it's not getting an immediate engagement. So not just for me, but for any creator that you enjoy or anyone you enjoy, go seek out their posts, like, share, leave a message, leave a comment, and try and help everyone else that way. So, good people of the internet, until next time, may our best days be ahead, and be well.